Good afternoon, traders. This is Nuke. Welcome to Day Trading with Nuke. This is going to be our afternoon recap for Thursday. What are we? October 4th, 2018. Okay, so we'll jump right in here. We'll start on the lowest end of the spectrum with OGEN. My pre-market analysis had this thing at a pre-market high of 349 and a pre-market low of 153, and I don't know what the hell's going on because I either marked out the wrong chart or this pre-market data was wrong. I didn't really trade it. I didn't look at it after the start of the bell. It just wasn't on my appetite. But you can see how widely this just kind of swung. It did stay where it should have been in the charting that developed for it, but it wasn't one that I watched and played today. And what did that look like on the 4-hour chart? You can see where this thing went parabolic long, it went parabolic short, and now in the next day or two, you're probably seeing this thing flatten out. Maybe next week you might see a washout long, or it'll just keep going to penny land. All right, next up is going to be IGC. IGC is one that I looked at today and had on my radar. I just wasn't comfortable with it, so I didn't play it. The only one I played today was AMRN, which was not on my pre-market list. I had been watching it. I just didn't jump on it this morning. But at the start of the bell, it had the movement that I was looking for, so that ended up being what I played for about 30 minutes before I got out. So where was IGC today? Well, when we did our pre-market analysis, it ended up falling at the bottom of that band, stayed in there nicely. What did that look like on the 4-hour chart? We'll zoom in. Full candle wick, taking up this entire section here of the pre-market area. This little tip that come down, don't worry about that. That happened after market hours. So pre-market hours are not pre-market. During the market, we had pretty much filling up the entire range there. So that would have worked out nicely. And as you can see, it stayed beneath our trend line for the day for the resistance. Next up is going to be NBEV. Let's take a look at NBEV. Where did that go? Pre-market, it bounced up to the high. It tried to fill back down to the low, broke down below it a little bit and channel traded. What's that actually look like? Bam, right there. Channel traded between the pre-market high and pre-market low all day. Broke a little bit into the 100 above, tapped the 100 below. Nothing serious. Very happy with the charting as it just stayed in that range. Fairly predictable. I just didn't fool with it. You were safe on the short below this line. Afterwards, it kind of gets a little trappy. Our original analysis before the beginning of the day, this was our support line, this was our resistance line, and once it came up here and tapped that resistance line and got a little bit above it, when it dropped below it and then came up and retested it, this is the point at which in the day I would have shorted it. However, I just was not in the mood. I wasn't feeling good. I haven't slept much, so I just stayed out of it. What does that look like on the 4-hour chart? Right there in the center of our prediction band. So very happy with that. Next up is going to be AMD. AMD had some good movement today. What did that look like for us? Boop. So it basically held the pre-market resistance line. At the beginning of the day, it did pop up above it, test the pre-market high at 28.73, shot back down every bit as fast as it came up. You see it just went straight up, straight back down, teetered around here, broke slightly above it for a minute, and then got back down below it. At this point, you could have basically safely shorted this thing and stayed in for the rest of the day. You'd have been all right. We didn't set in a pre-market support line just because the data wasn't there. We would have drawn that in. Let's see. Do that for you now just so you can see what it would have looked like. And there we go. That's what it would have looked like. Just, it wasn't a necessity, I thought. And the charts are doing this to me. Of course they are. Yeah. All right. So I can't change it to the dashed line. What did it look like on the 4-hour chart? That'll probably paint you a better picture. You see how everything has been washing out for a few days. Now we're starting to find bottom. And if you look here, the 200 actually still shows this thing on an uptrend. So as we near that 200, you're starting to get a little more support and resistance off of there. So that's where you see this basing action. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we see a cover pop or Monday. So anyway, yeah, it stayed right in that channel. I was perfectly happy with the analysis. And the last one is the one that I actually traded, which is AMRN. How did that look for the day? Which I'm kind of curious because I did trade it. I wanted to see. So I ended up getting in on a couple of longs here, and then it shorted down and popped back up above the pre-market high before it finally shorted all the way back down. I was looking to get back in once it broke this 1992 area, and I was going to shorter back down. However, I was sleeping by that point. But it did hold our pre-market support all the way until it didn't right here. And then once it broke that support, you had a little bit of short opportunity. And then finally it broke that support and went back to the upside. So this thing wasn't quite ready to die off just yet. What did that look like on the 4-hour? On the 4-hour, you can see how parabolic it's been. And that's a better look at the last 2 days, just shooting straight up. Well, you see how we have these giant candles? Today we had a nice big solid wick, and then but this wick includes some of the time frame in here, plus the pre-market. And then this one is probably better encompassing the trading day, and that would have taken you from like right here to about right here. So all in all, you see the way it filled in the price action. I'm very happy with that. No complaints whatsoever. I didn't even mark off the 100% below. So, wow, actually, yeah, that was borderline 200% above. Yeah, so crazy. This did really well today. I'm glad I made a little bit on it, and I hope y'all got some too. Well, anyway, that's it for today's Thursday afternoon recap. I hope you get something out of it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You have no idea how much that does to help me out personally as we try and grow this channel. And ask some questions. Get on Discord. Shoot me a couple of messages. Let's get that communication flowing. Maybe there's something I can do to help you out. All right, guys. With that, I will see y'all tomorrow.